town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Dire team back.
Are PS3 emulators even any good?
Apparently for this game it is. Like it runs at K60 FPS.
Alright.
TNC Predators turn to ban. Dire team ban.
Welcome back, everybody, to the BTS Pro Series SCA. We've got some more group stage action for you here. TNC Predator versus Execration. Both of them bottom of the group here, and we've already seen TNC once so far today. Looks and signal. We'll see how they fare
10
against
seconds remaining.
My
5
personality
seconds
type
remaining.
that makes me very particular about certain things is a little bit triggered by the fact that, you know,
Turn
you've
to
got all
ban.
these
Dire
Tim's
team
guilds nicely lined up, and then KP with the OPA is just a little bit off the side, but for the Oceanic Players Association, so we'll allow it this time around, you know.
Yeah, here, I'll show everybody. We don't have the on the camera version. You
sure,
can't see all the guilds, but
But he's doing his
TNC
job. He's getting us
Predators
a
turn
few
to
guild
ban.
points, so
Yeah, nice.
repping the Aussies. Happy to say.
what do we got going on here? Alchemist banned in the first phase.
Dire team
Execution
ban.
gonna get rid of the timber, and the shaker. Morphling also getting banned. Seems like TNC coming in with a little bit of a plan or some previous knowledge of Execration, knowing what.
Alk
TNC
once on this patch,
Predators
so
turn to ban.
I'm not sure what that's about.
Dire team pick.
All right, Beastmaster band does seem, and I don't know if you've been paying attention to the selection priority as we go, but it does seem like first pick is starting to become the dominant choice when teams have selection priority, and that to me is always an indicator of like the meta becoming more understood and people knowing what the highest priority heroes are.
10 seconds remaining.
I can understand that point. Sorry to
No,
cut you off.
TNC Predators
But like,
turn
sure, it's
to
great if you've got, you know, an Ember Spirit that's really strong. But the fact of the matter is, you can then have two picks that potentially directly counter that, right? Because there are a bunch of really strong heroes still in the patch that aren't going to get banned out every time. That's the reality of the situation, right? Like, the Quap is still there, the Chen is still there. There's still potentially
10
right.
seconds
Shadow
remaining.
Demon is being picked up a lot, you know, these sorts of things. So to have
5
that immediate
seconds
response
remaining.
to the first pick and the last pick of the entire draft,
TNC
I don't know, I feel
Predators
like that's
turn to
pretty impactful as well.
Yeah, well, you get to respond here, right? But it feels like overall first pick does get more. They get to
Dire
respond
team
a little bit more through the middle of the draft, right? Like now they get a pick against 2, and then they get a pick against 3, and they get a pick against all 4 of your heroes, and it's only at the very end where I feel like it starts to
Even out.
come back around for second pick. Yeah, and you're like, if you are the second pick team, I feel like you have to make really good use
10
of the
seconds
last pick,
remaining.
whereas I think for the first pick team, you're getting access to the
5
potentially
seconds
broken heroes
remaining.
and
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, again, this is another KP style hero with the Doom
team
coming
back.
out, just that tanky frontliner that's just able to run, tank up a lot of the damage, and hopefully live for his team. You know, you see him being put in really suicidal positions, essentially, with things like the Doom with the Legion Commander, and just relying on his team to be able to come in and then make that turnaround impact in that one.
we did talk about this during the Signal series. This is also a little bit of like a
10
throwback
seconds
draft,
remaining.
I think. Right? You know, Doom is not a huge meta pick at the moment.
5
Grimstroke
seconds
is seeing
remaining.
some play, but he's not nearly as popular as he once was. But TNC may be going back to some of their older playbooks, and does still look okay here. You know, I'm looking at these two heroes and thinking, all right, this is going to be kind of annoying for the Ember. He is going to have to be careful about how he plays. But as we've seen, it just doesn't. It almost doesn't seem to matter how much you counterpick the Ember to do. And worst case scenario, they just make him position for. Like as for Ember with Oracle, you could do it in a pinch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it has to be
remaining.
said. Do you feel like TNC are just trying to go for this style of draft where they're like,
turn to pick.
look, we're pretty confident that we're safe. This series, try and end it really quickly. I mean, Void Spirit's definitely another one of those heroes that seems like it wants to take advantage of a 20-30 minute game.
Yeah, I like the Void Spirit. I'm just gonna slay the Oracle factor. Like, hey Oracle, if you even show for a second in the back of the team fight, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, Void Spirit's just gonna come and find you and be able to do anything in the. Even if you're just getting run at as the Oracle, you're getting pushed away from your
10
cores,
seconds remaining.
right? And that's always kind of scary. So the Quap comes in, but now Execration,
seconds
you know, they've got the Quap and the Ember.
Dire team pick.
End up being cores, then they definitely need to have some push come somewhere, because right now neither one of these two heroes is really building pressure. So I almost feel like one of or
Do you think with the Void Spirit that he's going to itemize specifically just to straight 100 to 0 him, like maybe go an Orchid instead of something that's a bit more right-click oriented? Because they don't have a ton of tower
5
taking
seconds
potential right now,
remaining.
you know? Maybe just a Yule's will be sufficient?
the Yule Ags just looks too good this game. Like, I think the Ags just seems
TNC
Oh yeah,
Predators.
insane.
it's too good to pass up against all of these like squishy spell reliant heroes. Execration do go for the Dragon Knight. Okay, so there's the objective taking, and right, the same criticism can be leveled against TNC, that they have not grabbed a whole lot of building damage just yet. I always love during the draft how Pangolier just
10
kind of
seconds remaining.
like he's just swiping his sword around and whoever's next to
5
him. It
seconds
does not
remaining.
look very comfortable. But
Spears him. I was seeing that when they had the Grimstroke Doom up paintbrush. It's like underneath
Yeah.
the Doom sword. What's going on? Gonna round this out. I mean, Slark potentially, a decent one here.
yeah, I like the sound of the Slark. There's not a crazy. There is some burst, but you're definitely good against the Dragon Knight. Getting a bunch of stacks up there. The root sounds useful, so that sounds like a really solid option. I don't know what else. Execration. This way, I guess they've kind of got options at this point. They've kind of got the building damage with the DK. So Oracle is definitely 5.
Yeah.
I feel like DK is mid. I don't know if you want to run the risk of the Dragon Knight ending up against the Doom. That doesn't sound particularly pleasant, so I think maybe you put him mid just for safety's sake. Who knows, actually. Guess it could also be Dragon Knight like off lane. Ember mid, Quap 4.
It's not a death.
10 seconds remaining.
No.
Dire team pick.
So Monkey King ban and a Void ban for Execration. Yeah, the Faceless Void would have definitely been annoying for these squishies in kind of the same way.
Yep.
Right. So I don't mind that at all. But Execration, what do they? What do you need? What is the?
10 seconds.
What is
remaining.
the ownage pick here?
5 seconds remaining.
They got plenty of time to.
Yeah, they do have a lot of reserve time. I don't know.
Got a Nyx.
Is it a good core Quap game? Like, to me, it almost looks like you want the Ember core this game, and then you kind of want the Quap maybe as the 4, and then you could still pick a 1 if you feel like there's a particularly good 1 in this situation. Like, but I don't know what that would be. There's like the only things that I can think of right now are like a silencer core or something. No, they just take the Slark for themselves. All right.
To say, do you think they're just going to block pick it? Because taking out the Void, and what else really is there that can lock things down in that similar sort of fashion?
Yeah. What do you go now if you're TNC?
This is gone more.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
You don't want to pick Terrorblade.
I mean, Prophet's still there.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't know if it would be the worst thing in the world for them. Because whatever it does, it's got to do some building damage, right? I don't know if they want to Lone Druid. I mean, Lone Druid's still there as well, right? Doesn't look amazing or anything.
You may now select
Spectre,
your heroes.
when in doubt, Spectre out.
Sure.
All right.
It's fine.
It's all right here. The not bad against it. Their lineup does not take early towers at all, really. It's like maybe Necrobook on the Doom, and that's about it.
It's 4 Queen of Pain coming out here.
Okay. Yeah, I like that here. I don't think the mid Quap looks that amazing, and in general, I think Quap is a better 4 than Ember.
Yes.
Ember 4 is just not my favorite. So I think you're going to be much more reliable to have the Ember be a core with this sword.
One thing I'm a little worried about is like do all too much until they get that initiation. Like Dragon Knight is going to build a blank dagger pretty early on.
Yeah, they don't really have the most amazing catch, really. I think he can hunt a little bit, but yeah, in general, the ganking is really going to be either setting up, but like we've said, Ember needs to be careful about his positioning this game, especially against the Grimstroke Doom. One, well embrace, or just the Doom catching him could spell the end. So,
but that's the thing, though. I feel like those are really the only heroes initiation item of the rest of his team that he can potentially go on. Yeah, and get a lot of stacks and Grimstroke, because really, what escape potential do you have? Oh, he's got double crowbars here on. Goes for him.
I think they're pretty cool. I know a lot of people rock the the rapiers or the
Prepare for
nunchucks.
battle.
But this is up there. I like the flag actually a lot. I think that the flag is slept on. Though, is that in the same spot as the like really flashy immortal? No, it's actually in the head slot. So they'll use it.
Doesn't. That's the big play right there.
The
Brazilian barbecue, churrascaria sort of thing.
right. Okay, what's going on here? So Gabby's got a Necrobook queued up. Who you got this game, Danog?
I think you just go with
30
TNC.
seconds
You know,
to
they've got the
Pedigree.
pedigree, the expectation, the experience, and they've got the yikes ping on Tim's being constantly spent out on the map.
It's value. It's what you want. Top lane actually pretty. This is, you know, the Oracle feels very similar to say like the Winter Wyvern and things,
The
where you're
battle
just
begins.
you're not as much of a factor in the lane. So maybe that's where the Doom and the Pangolier, while a little bit greedy, can maybe get away here and put on some pressure. Marchi is also starting up here in the opposing safe lane for the time being, and they've actually blocked out their own big camp just to try and keep it away from the Doom.
What are your thoughts on putting the sentry there? Like, it's not on the edge of the box, and if it was, it probably would have caught out the ward that the Radiant had put there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this placement.
Super obvious, doesn't give much time. Like if you placed it behind the trees, for example, it still gives that a little bit of extra value, means that they're out of lane on the supports for a little bit longer.
Dire's top tower is under
Just these little
attack.
things that add up.
Alright, so mid lane, Spirit versus Spirit. I don't know how I feel like this matchup I've seen go maybe slightly in the Void Spirit's favor, just by virtue of, you know, he has a way to kind of deal, he can kind of deal with the Flame Guard, but you can't really do anything to deal with the Resonant Pulse.
You are too slow.
And a lot of Ember's laning does actually come from just constantly harassing people down with the fist, so it's a little bit tricky. As far as playing this, forcing Tims to take the creep wave underneath the tower, but now he's getting caught out a little bit. Buckle through, KP not interested in continuing the pursuit, but Tim's just going to force the TP out here, and he's actually TPing back to the tier 1, so it's going to cost him a salve to heal back up here.
That's fine. He's positioning himself to be able to get that pull going off, but be able to, because it was body locked up. Not even interested in stacking for his Ember Spirits, so.
I mean, it would take a little while to go anywhere useful. I guess this medium camp can't be close.
Yeah.
So Yaha did just block out this small camp again at bottom, and they're really keeping it shoved underneath the tower for the time being. Dragonite using that Breathe Fire pretty liberally. I think he's already got the Soul Ring. Actually, no, he's getting a Bracer brought out.
About to say, could he go for an aggressive blink here? Got the double Saves Mask coming through to Gabby, which they had vision of from this deep Observer ward. Be able to grab it just yet.
Gets delivered. Mel at mid, getting pushed back ever so slightly. Does have the CS lead currently. 12 with 7 denies against the 9 and 3 of this Ben-Hur Ember. So it's going to be a much faster bottle for our Mel in this situation. It gives him a little bit of a lead that he can continue to pressure his mid lane. And for now, with all of the denies, he's actually a level ahead. So able to keep the pressure going. Alright, Tims is just stealing the enemy pole. Sure. Alright, it's one. That's about it. And this camp has been unblocked by TNC. So KP able to come over here and start grabbing some slightly more useful creeps.
X was always really handy for a Doom.
But I think overall TNC pretty happy with how this early game is playing out. The Doom doesn't have a crazy amount of CS, but it's not like he's dying. Tims has already got the level 3 just from all these constant wave pulls. And they really don't seem to be getting too much pressure out of this Queen of Pain on the off lane. Gabby seems to be coming just fine, and actually a little bit of pressure getting put onto this Dragon Knight. They spotted the Queen of Pain on the Observer where they know that she's not here. So Gabby even skilling up a point into the Desolate. And Knight does end up dropping pretty low from all that pressure. So this pop up to it mid. He throws it a dagger onto Armel, trying to protect this 4-minute, which does end up spawning bottom. So that's going to end up going to Ben-Hur, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the bottle just yet. So just going to be a grab for the Quap, and she's going to use it to head all the way back to base.
Good. Going to be able to finally grab the boots that were coming out and previously onto Palace here, so he's going to have an easier time contesting up here against KP. Just stand inside that Scorched Earth. Even though not leading on the last hit, still easily in first position right now on KP, taking maximum advantage of that dude. Hour. Not really spent anything in terms of his region, so well for him.
Quap keeping the pressure going into March. Yeah, managed to just jump away with the Ink Swell, and that will force a TP out. So it's going to be bounties secured by Execration. Look to secure both of the top ones, and just continuing to drag these waves non-stop. Looks like Armel going to for himself a sliver of experience, 5 EXP away from his level 6. And at that point, this wave bottom is pretty far up, so I feel like this Dragon Knight needs to be careful, especially once the maybe make his way back to bottom, or they could even just try for a kill at mid. No level 6 just yet for Ben-Hur. That's a good play.
Ran for a bit of luck with the lucky shot for that extra little bit of armor reduction.
Have they seen him yet? No, I don't think so. There's no war bot March, and Ben-Hur's not gonna. No, thank you. No. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go hit this jungle camp and get my level 6. That's all I need. All right, they scan. He throws a remnant out, runs forward. Can they get away? And Armel will be the one to secure that 6-minute rune.
Failed rotation. Gabby's getting gone on a little bit down here. He's run out of regen with that Tango being used, but he should be okay.
I just still think they got to be careful about the Void Spirit deciding that he wants to come down bottom, though they might not even need him with both of these supports rotating through. Available for Yaha. Dragon Knight's pretty tanky. Tim's just gonna throw a little bit of investment, and Gabby. Still stage continuing very, very slightly on the net worth of the TNC currently, but just not a whole lot going on.
TNC have to be pretty happy with a passive game, right? You're able to get more value out of the Doom's Devour. You've got a Spectre on your team. They're very happy.
KP's going Boots of Travel first.
Yeah, why not?
Like, all right. Yeah.
How do you run?
Give me the well. It's kind of a farming item, right? I think. I kind of think of Boots of Travel as like a ganking Midas, right? Yeah. Necrobook is the actually good Midas. Midas is bad Midas, and Boots of Travel is ganking Midas.
Midas is bad Midas. I agree entirely.
Yeah, just try and argue. Nice ward from Execration is going to spot the fact that all is coming up and is looking.
Radiant's middle tower.
Oh, did he at least manage to get the fade? Wait, where's this faded birch?
Do you send it back?
I'm not sure. Let's first blood at bottom, actually. Gabby dying. Armel, one more touch to finish it off. Apollo's getting run at. They do have this Doom available. He was trying to play around the Shadow Dance. Now he needs to get into these trees. They're still chasing. They don't manage to land the Remnant, but March body blocking him in a little bit. And the silence just lasts way too long. So even with spotting that rotation, Armel gonna end up getting the double kill.
Dyer's top
Nicely done by TNC. He did end up sending it back to base with a Faded Brooch, so at least not losing out on that early advantage. But on bot side, as we were saying before, Gabby did end up dropping down. And this level 6 from the DK being used to start putting some real pressure onto the tower.
And I don't feel like the Slark really needed to die there. So it could have actually been a pretty good exchange across the map, only losing your Oracle. and then the Spectre dying bottom, but instead, now trying to make it go onto Tim's. He does have the Swashbuckle. He's also got the TP coming through, and now the Haunt. Queen of Pain in a little bit too deep. Tim's, can he get the deny? Gabby thought about it for a second, but it will still be a kill for the Dragon Knight. KP chasing in. Breathe Fire's there. Gabby's still chasing. KP, can he close the gap for this Thunderclap? Do they even need it? One more punch is going to do, and that is a double kill for the Doom. And now he's got the BOTs.
Plus 600 gold, you did.
Yep.
Just for fun, you know.
So, March dying top, but looking for the turnaround is Armel. Do not land the Remnant and the step forward, but Palos has already run out of the Shadow Dance. He's just trying to juke around the fog. Armel still chasing, 5 seconds to go on both of his cooldowns. The Pounce is off. Heads up and realizes very quickly that there is vision over here. So just gonna keep on running. Being a 1-for-1 at top. But that is the Ember dying for the Grimstroke, so... Not for Execration, however you slice it.
No, absolutely not. And, well, they're going to look to try and take a bit more control out on this top side. You can see some pressure being put onto Armel here, as well as the dewarding going on from RR, but be a 1-for-1 trade with these outposts. Neither team too sad about that.
And they're going to be careful about how far he chases. There is a Grimstroke back here, so there's the Phantom's Embrace. If he just goes for the rune, he might walk straight into an Aether Remnant. Immediate silence. He wanted that bounty, but Armel's going to claim his, and now RR also maybe the target. They've only got the one Astral Step, so need to land the slow into the immediate Aether Remnant. He's maybe got the Faith Edict to protect himself a little bit. No, not even going to help.
KP in a bit of trouble. 3-man rotation.
He's speedy, though. Pounce is still available. Do connect it. Yaha grabbing the kill.
Not speedy enough.
No, well, we had 0 kills in like 6.5 minutes, and now we have 11 kills at 10.5. So this game is really starting to get active. The laning stage breaking down. With this next Dragon form, it does seem like they should be able to take out the bottom tier 1 tower. Gabby already jungling up with the Necrobook. So going to work there. Ben-Hur pushing out mid lane a little bit.
Armel's got top.
Yeah, it's kind of slow sieging. He's got a really nice neutral item. Arcane Ring, the stats feel too good. Doom onto the Dragon Knight. Rolling Thunder through. Quap does have the blink available, but the silence coming in. And Armel finishing off that kill. Now DK surrounded by 4. Double kill for this Void Spirit. Getting very close to the Yule. Alos is even down here. Along with the rest of Execration, they're actually thinking about trying to take this fight. Ben-Hur coming over. They got to be careful. Armel still got some spells. They do have the damage onto the Doom if they can keep him trapped under the tower. Doing good work. Armel living. Another Astral Step through. Good damage. And now March looking for the turnaround with the Soulbind. We're going to deal with the silence quickly. And Ember still has some remnants. Sonic Wave. Armel, if they could get his streak, it would be some nice gold for them. And Ben-Hur does clean it up. It's been the Void Spirit show so far. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Wonder if he was able. I wasn't watching. Did he buy out before that death there? Because he's real close to finishing Yule Scepter, as we were expecting. Could get it by about the 13 or so minute mark. So going to continue rotating around the map, creating vector, and it has to be said, with all that going on, no Gabby present, and that's just because he's happily farming away. Closer, he's got his Necro book. He wants to hit on 10. Pretty standard, just going into the relic. Eventually,
KP getting gone on again at mid. The disarm does come out onto the Ember Spirit, and now the roll through from Tim's. He's also got the Ink Swell on top of him. Trouble for the Dragon Knight. No save for the Oracle. And that is just going to end up being 2 quick kills. They already used it on the Ember, but he's getting dragged back in. Doesn't have any more remnants. And that's just 3 for TNC.
Yeah, another value rotation. He's finished up the Yule Scepter now, being brought out to him. Like he's going to grab it, and as expected, he's going to go straight into that Ag Scepter. So, starting out, it's nice to have this this Queen of Pain. You know, we saw in the bottom lane, really impactful with being able to get that Sonic Wave off, eventually getting that kill onto Spirit, but follow it up with consistent teamfight presence, which have until you damage a bit more maneuverability.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm starting to question a little bit what the Oracle can really do in this game. Maybe it gets a little bit better later on.
Oh no.
He's not going to get chain stunned, so Could get the Shadow Dance off, and the team is coming over to help. Armel, quick to simulate, looking for the jump out. March just going to put his life on the line here to throw out the Soulbind. Mel still kiting. I don't think there's any help coming. Grimstorm going to try for the TP out, and Tim's actually covering with the Rolling Thunder. That buys them the space, and Execration get nothing for that 5-man rotation, and gotta keep looking because the Spectre is just going to keep on farming. As I say that, Gabby misses the CS, but you know, you get the idea.
That's the thing, right? If you go on a Spectre, it's not like the Spectre can take to the rest of his team, you know? If you make that full 5-man commitment, it feels like you kind of have to focus Spec first and foremost. Spirit's been caught out, but he's not going to die.
Yeah, he's fine. It does need to be... I feel like TNC have gotten quite lucky with the neutral items here, like getting the Iron Talon on the Spectre and getting the Arcane Ring for the Void Spirit. Definitely some of the best for those two. Oh, Ben-Hur, a little bit left in the Remnants. Get Yules'd up. They do have a Doom. I don't even know if they need it. They're just going to keep the chain stun going, and there's the kill.
Bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower
That
is
greed,
under attack.
being able to stick around in that jungle once you've lost that tier 1 tower is a very dangerous place to be. Of course, Ember Spirit does have a lot of maneuverability and potential options there, but you saw when you've got 4 heroes rotating through, there's really not too much.
Tower is under attack.
And they're going to keep this going. Doom TPing down bottom. He's still just kind of farming at the edges of this dire vision, and does seem like Execration maybe going to get pushed out of the Radiant jungle in a second, but still able to keep farming it for now. Man, if Armel gets a fast Aghanim's timing this game, it's just going to be so rough for Execration.
I like what he's here. He's got Tim's, March standing nearby, just making sure he doesn't die. You've always got KP's presence there, the boots of travel. Looking for a go here onto Palos, especially after he uses this.
They're sitting behind him. They do have the false promise, but the Rolling Thunder is just connecting onto everybody. They get obliterated by Balmahon. The 2 supports try to help out, but they're just going to end up being more fuel for the fire. Armel with the double kill, and what is everybody else doing on the map right now for Execration? Because it, you know, Dragon Knight's just hitting a jungle camp, Ben-Hur pushing out the mid a little bit. No real trade happening. Armel's even looking for more.
I mean, I can understand with Ben-Hur, it feels like you really need the Spirit Vessel to try and make anything happen on the map, but it's just a little optimistic when you're coming up against a Spectre, right? Who's probably going to hit a similar sort of radius timing to your Spirit Vessel timing.
Oh, Yules. Taking Remnants. Dragon Knight trying to help out. They've got the silence and the disarm, so he can't just... Does get the slide off at the end. All right, Ben-Hur living, but doesn't seem like Dragon Knight's going to be quite so lucky. Got a quick pushback. KP running forward. A little bit more damage to finish off this Dragon Knight. He's still surviving, courtesy of the Edict. They can't decide what they want to do with the Soul Binds. KP standing strong in the front lines. Palos does actually come in, and he's able to clean in the back lines a bit with his haste rune. AP's still fighting, looking like he might just end up being a few more stacks for this Slark. The Diffusal Blade's starting to go to work.
It's just right. KP there.
Yeah.
I think the big difference that time around is just the target prioritization, right? Armel spent the entire team fight trying to take down this Dragon Knight with minimal success. You know, he had the Oracle backing him up, getting those Fortune Send off to purge the slows that were coming out from him, and it was enough for him to get away with that Dragon's Blood.
And they almost got the perfect like chain stun on the Ember, but managed to get the off, and at that point we weren't going to do too much more. Though Ben-Hur, you evaded death once. Will you be so lucky the second time around? He's fine.
Yes. A little slow with the Aether Remnant.
I think he was just trying to figure out where the angle was to not hit a creep first before he dropped out of it. But yeah, that was actually, if he has a Remnant down, can you even... Does he go straight into the Remnant stun, or does he can he jump out? I'm not sure.
Sure, he goes straight into it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Smoked up, running forward. March, the obvious target. They're gonna hit him with the dagger. Doesn't have a TP, so he is looking very dead. The question is, can they get anything else? Mel just gonna quickly grab this clumsy net and pass it over to Tim, since they actually might still want to make some kind of a play here, if at all possible. We've got some vision to play around. They kind of know what's going on in this area.
All right, Relic acquired for Gabby. that Radiance, and we've seen immediately the TNC have this habit of just saying, right, go time, and immediately using it, not wanting to waste even 10 seconds. When
dire scan, they found Tim's, already immediately stunned. Should be nowhere to save him. And Armel revealing that he is up here as he throws out the Remnant. Seeming like they're still really eager to find something with the Haunt. I mean, KP's even got the BOTs, so Boots of Travel cooling down 25 seconds.
They found him, a little Whistle Blade being popped, but they catch him. Back far enough, uses the Dissimulate to be able to get away. Always a risk.
Oh, they gotta be careful about TPing like this.
Yep.
Alright. Not gonna get punished at all. They swap sides of the map, and that's when TNC can just come TPing after you. And they're still trying for it. Two-man smoke. They know that the Slark can't get here, and the Spectre doesn't have the Radiance, but they might not even necessarily need it. Blink away from the Dragon Knight. Get the catch. Didn't have the vision. Still scary if you're Execration. But Clark's farm is starting to accelerate a little bit more. He's finding himself among those top on the net worth. He's just going to be going for an S&Y next. Armel has not been doing that much farming in the last couple of minutes, but still moving towards the Atom Scepter pretty quickly. What do we got? We just got the Vessel so far on Ben-Hur.
Yep. I just realized actually how effective this Grove Bow is on Armel. Obviously, doesn't get any benefit from the attack range, but considering with the Astral Step you attack all the enemies that you go through, that minus % magic resistance is always going to be really impactful for yourself and your team.
A lot of AoE magical damage, actually, right? The Scorched Earth, everything from Grimstroke, Rolling Thunder,
eventually Radiance.
Yeah, it's all gonna add up. And Gabby's even holding onto the Nether Shawl currently.
He's got the Radiance now as well.
Oh, this next fight is gonna be nasty.
They're all grouped up.
Oh, Armel's Invis. Looking for the lockdown onto Ben-Hur, starting this out. Here comes the Remnant.
It's coming.
No, here comes the Haunt. They're even gonna zoom him just to make 100% sure that they get this kill. Can they find a little bit more? They're pinging on the Dragon Knight. He's going to be able to blink in just a second, so he's fine.
I really like that from RR though. Didn't even think for a second. He's like, I'm getting burned, TP straight away. Didn't even try and make the save because you saw they dropped everything on that Ember Spirit, and he would have just been more fuel to the fire.
Yeah, there really was nothing that they could do there. Paul's gonna come up, grab a little bit of neck. I'm pretty happy with that. Armel pressuring him, gets the taunt. Is this enough damage? He got a dance off, but he's still just dead.
Tower is under attack.
I feel like that was the Grove Bow difference, right? He was very close to getting that Shadow Dance off, but the damage itself from the Astral Step, like the laggy damage, if that makes sense, and then everything else, of course, is just enough to take him out, and I think that allows him to finish off his Ag Scepter, so good luck to anyone that gets caught out by this Void Spirit, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, these silences are going to be brutal now. But the back line, sorry, is just going to get destroyed, right? Void Spirit's going to jump on top of the Oracle and the Quap, and they're just not going to be able to do anything. Even somebody like the Dragon Knight, right? Tanky, but the silence means you're just not doing what you want to do in these fights. Ben-Hur getting forced into a BKB. Comes in at connect. Okay, Dragon Knight tanking up the Remnant. Nicely done. But still, they're able to keep this fight going, and DK going to be the target instead. Swell plus the Rolling Thunder. Keep the chain stun going. Tanks the gank for his Ember.
Yeah, unfortunate, especially they had to use the Elder Dragon form for that. A little bit unfortunate. It does mean that the reveal of the Ags isn't quite as impactful as TNC were hoping, especially considering he hit it at the exact same time he hit his level 15, so the extra 80 Resonant Pulse damage quite as useful as he would have hoped.
Well, TNC just going to go straight into the pit. They do have another Haunt in 20 seconds. Execration smoked up inside of the Radiant jungle currently, but only so much room that they can actually utilize. This tier 1 mid is still standing. Paula's going to be showing at bottom, and even with the scan, can they do anything about this? Doom is at the ready. KP actually only opting to put the 1 point into it currently. I guess it doesn't really scale very well, huh? It's only an extra 15 DPS, so it just costs you more mana. may as well just max out your other abilities.
Of KP is very close to picking up that Blink Dagger, only about 250 gold away on this gank, but the question is, will he need it to essentially make it a success for them? Going to be another case of Armel leading the way, catching someone out one more time.
They can kind of go up these blind high grounds. If the smoke breaks, they can't just instantly pop the haunt and find the jump. Oh, they see Palos now. Alright, they're going to try and send in Armel first. There's a silence. Going to yield him up. Maybe use the Doom just to secure it. Nope, don't even need it. KP thought about it for a second, but that kill is guaranteed, and not even letting them get away with anything up top. He's just holding the wave, looking to pressure this tier 2, and her getting burned up a little bit, and there are more heroes here looking to help out. Ben-Hur's got the Remnant. Where is it, in fact? He's still getting just chased by Gabby this entire time. Now Haunt comes out to keep on chasing. Gabby really wants this kill, and it seems like Ben-Hur might just get ticked out. He does just barely get out of the Remnant's range. Meanwhile, the Haunt and the rest of TNC are just cleaning up the Knight and the Oracle.
Perfect use of the Soulbind, locks them together, and then with the Inkswell combination, it just means that there's no way for them getting away. Lacking a little bit of coordination, a little bit of communication to make sure they were running in the same direction, and it was a little bit of that that difficult situation. 25 minutes coming up. TNC have a strong foothold in this game, and they're going to strengthen it even more with these bounty runes picked up. It's looking pretty solid. What are we seeing? 95% win chance.
Yeah. Very, very difficult to bring back a deficit like this. They almost need a fight where Slark just gets to go ham and get, you know, the stacks going. Certainly not going to be easy to fight into this Aegis.
I haven't seen a single one. It's all been on the back foot. Never the entire.
Precious bounty.
It's not even like they can bait, really, right? Armel just goes in, there's the silence. Palos does manage to get a little bit of a jump away. Half of his HP, and KP just looking for him. They do throw out the ultimate. KP taking a lot of damage. He gets the BKB off at the last second, but still going to end up being brought down. Gabby, just the immediate Manta, wants to reset, doesn't want anything to do with this fight anymore. A little bit too deep from KP.
But that's what they want. Like, now they've reached level 18 on the Slark, so he's going to be able to be a little bit more efficient with his farming. They got popped the 10-second BKB out of KP and still got the kill. Another permanent Agi. Slows down this game a little bit, and normally against a Spectre you wouldn't be all too happy about that, but when deficit is like this, it's not the worst situation to be in.
So how did we get to this position? Like, what have TNC done, or what have Execration done wrong this game that it's just kind of snowballed to this point? Is it the draft thing? Is it the way they played the lanes thing? What's the...
It's this situation happening over and over again with Ben-Hur dying. Yeah. And it just feels like, sure, they kind of take that fight on their side. There's immediate objectives straight afterward. They took a few around the middle of the map. They could transition back to the Roshan, and they're really not too worried about wasting any time. Like, they can just leave Gabby here, and he's probably one of the more efficient players that we're seeing within the Southeast Asian region.
Armel with the double jump forward. They're looking for this Dragon Knight. Who are they haunting in on, actually? It's RR trying to escape with the TP. Good luck to you, my friend. Are they going to let the Dragon Knight go? Armel's still chasing him. Paolo's just going to go for the ulti and the TP out. Dragon Knight not so lucky. Just going to get surrounded and finished off. Godlike for Armel.
I push the future ever. Thank you.
It just, like we were saying before, the one team fight that they took is because they were finally able to work together as a team on Execration. They had the Oracle there, so you could get the false promise off onto Palos. He was able to turn around and confidently fight into the Doom. Every single one of these other ones, it's like they pick off a couple of people, and then it's just like lambs to the slaughter. They've never rotated essentially through his 5, or if they have, it's been a really minor target that they've found.
That has the target. Tim's rolling forward. He does have the clumsy net once he finds him, so he can just jump out and net him up potentially. There you go, with the silence, and it's another kill for March. Only a second of the game. They've got a Doom on the Slark bottom, so he's also getting cleaned up.
Weak in lowest hell.
And casual regen being popped by Gabby, making sure he's able to stay out on the map. Aegis,
Like, why did you take that? Your Aegis was just about to get reclaimed. I have to go base. What's going on?
he probably didn't realize.
17k now the lead.
Is under attack.
Immediate disarm onto Dragon Knight. Spirit Vessel is getting helped out a little bit by RR. Can he make it back to the base? Gabby is doing so much damage here. He does get the blink up onto the high ground. Tim's still chasing. One quick bash and one more quick kill. The tier 2 is still up, but at this point it feels like TNC can just run at them wherever they are on the map. Benher is desperately trying to get this top tier 1 tower, but
Dire's middle tower has
can't even get that.
Tier 2, don't care. Again, yeah, KP going this suicidal style of build. He's got the plate mail, Shiva's Guard is next, and you know, once he pops that BKB in the Scorched Earth, what can you really do against it?
The game is just completely unplayable for the backline now, right? Like, Haunt gets popped, you're losing half of your HP to that. There's a Void Spirit who has nothing to worry about from your heroes, so he's just gonna silence you. Wait for...
Dead.
He's on godlike streak. Yeah, trying to help out. Strings can keep him alive for a second longer. RR even getting caught inside of the base. Got a net. Dragon Knight trying. Too close to your buddy. They're buyback on the Sonic Wave through, but the damage is just not enough. Double kill for Armel. They're buying back 3 and now trying to chase. They get the chains on Abby, but it's still just outside of the base. And he's got his team here helping out. TNC looking to escort him to safety. And Palos can't afford to die. He does get the chance off this time around, but it's just to focus on a Necro book. It's not stable. And TNC again just diving past the tier 2 tower.
Well, heavy commitment with those triple buybacks, and it just means that the next death on them is essentially going to be GG. Even with this outer tier 2 tower remaining, that's probably where TNC are going to posture themselves, at least for the next minute or so, considering we've got a Roche potential in around. Gabby, just farming.
Yeah, just going. Got it. Execration trying to break out of this chokehold, but there's no way to farm your way back into this game, but it also doesn't feel like they can win team fights, so Silence coming out. Armel's going to be fine. They are keeping the Quap alive for a little bit longer. TNC don't have their full strength here. They do have the Doom available. Soulbind up in 3 seconds, so I think TNC might just be able to keep on going. They do not have the Haunt, so Gabby is going to buy himself down here at bottom, and I think that's maybe where Execration are looking to put their attention. They do finally chase down RR and finish him off. He's still running out, looking for a little bit more. Dragon Knight is just desperately trying to grab these neutral items. He gets a repair kit, but that might just extend his suffering at this point.
Yeah, there's just nothing they can do.
Yeah, they can't farm, they can't win fights. So at that point, what plays are even left to you, right? Dragon Knight's still trying to just take this top tower. They can't even split because 2 of the lanes still have tier 1s. So you can get the lane to like the elbow, and that's it. Somebody TPs, and that's the end of your fun.
It might... sounds weird, but it might even be counterintuitive to take the tier 1 tower against TNC, right? Because that refreshes the glyphs, so if they're trying to clear out these creep waves when they're pushing into the base, they can just pop it and use it in an offensive way.
Yeah. Well, bash into Palos, losing half of his HP pretty much immediately. Gabby just can keep on gliding forward. Shadow Dance coming out. Palos feeling like he needs to commit, but Tim's still doing all right. Sonic Wave is going to bring him down.
Okay.
But not all that helpful, and still gonna keep on chasing. They do have the Manta on Gabby.
KP's not here.
No, they're gonna wait for the chains. Perhaps he's actually jumping into the backline, just hopping around everywhere here. Both of those heroes just getting instantly eliminated, and they even jump forward with the Ink Swell to block onto Ben-Hur. Well, Armel just now punishing them. They didn't even need KP. He was just chilling top, finishing off the Shivas.
He's happy.
He's farmed.
Dire's bottom tower is
Having a
under
very good,
attack.
and now a 28k lead. You can see finally feeling kind of high.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They have to call it, right? Like, they saw all the buybacks from the previous team fight. Slot just, again, dead for 100. He hasn't even been part of this team fight. There we go.
Yeah, alright, there we go. Have a conversation maybe about this game, put it behind you, prepare for the next one, and then just all the G. That is that. Nicely executed. TNC, like Armel, just kind of popped up. Got a lot done. They killed Ember a whole bunch. We keep talking again about how Ember had
walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within. Mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Set my heart afire.
Welcome back, everybody, to BTS Pro Series Season 2 for SEA. We've got our last game of the evening. It's Execration versus TNC. Danok staying hydrated. He's excited. Let's see what this game has in store for us, and what this draft, more importantly, has in store for us
Radiant
first.
team back.
Yeah, it wasn't the thing with TNC that I was necessarily expecting. I know they were really aggressive, but it wasn't like the game that ended in 20 minutes flat. They just went this all-out push style, but it felt like they were dominating.
TNC Predators
minute,
turn to
whatever
ban.
it finished up at 30-odd.
Yeah, they definitely. They did really well in their lanes. They leveraged the Void
Radiant
Spirit
team back.
fantastically. They used the global ganking power of the Spectre to really just accelerate the farm. And they always had the advantage in the Vision game. It was so difficult for Execration to ever win a team fight. And it also felt like the Slark just took a really long time to come online. Like, he looked okay once he got the
10
defusal, but
seconds
by the time he
remaining.
got that item, they were already behind.
5 seconds
And Spectre
remaining.
was just expanding the lead further and further and further between her and the Slark.
TNC Predators
I mean, what
turn
did you
to ban.
what do you even use the diffusal on? I think I saw him use it once in a team fight, and it was like on Mel,
Radiant
and he just,
team back.
you know, assimilated away, so it didn't really matter. You know, if you used it on
Yeah.
Gabby, most of the time he had Haunt just to get away. By the time he had it, KP, I think, had his BKB, so you can just pop that and run.
Yeah, I just
Wasn't
feel
very
like
timing.
the logic is that it's the best killing item on the Slark, right? If you just want to get
TNC
one item to go and run at the
Predators
enemy
turn to
team,
ban.
it's a nice way to go. If you're trying to be a little greedier, maybe you go an Echo Saber first and then you get the Shadow Blade or something. But he just felt like, oh my god, my team, we need to put out these fires. My team needs me to be as impactful as I can with my very first item. And well, it didn't really end up working out.
Radiant
There were a
team
lot of
back.
very defensive Shadow Dances getting popped, right? It was never like using it offensively to dive somebody. It was
TNC
almost always,
Predators turn to pick.
oh man, there's a bunch of stuns coming my way. Better pop the Shadow Dance to try and survive. And
Yeah.
very similar bans this time around, right? I think that is maybe the Clockwork new,
Radiant
and that's
team pick.
about it.
About it.
Yeah.
Of pain.
Pop up for themselves this time. Seen that than happy to play it in the safe lane, so a little bit of versatility available for TNC there. My thing is, and this isn't to flame Execration at all, but you would have to say there's a little bit of a skill gap between the
10
two, right?
seconds
TNC,
remaining.
much more established,
Yeah.
behind them. Does that
5
influence the way that you
seconds
draft? Do you need to
remaining.
go
Radiant
all
team
in on perhaps a little bit more of an aggressive style? Like, this is exactly what I want to see. You know, the Nature's
Yeah.
Prophet. One, it denies it away from TNC. It gives you that global presence. It's flexible, and it's just something that you're bringing the fight to them. I don't think something like an Oracle
TNC
really works for
Predators
Execration. They need stuff that's constantly able to run at them and try and make something happen and win the early game, so that you're not succumbing to what feels like the prevailing theme of this patch, in that it's so hard to overcome even a 5k deficit.
Yeah, the lanes really feel like they're winning games, and the Oracle is not winning your lane for you. And it's not even about
10 seconds remaining.
It's not only not winning the lane, but it's also letting the enemy get away
seconds
with
remaining.
something that maybe they shouldn't be able to, right? Like a Doom Pango dual lane is not a strong dual lane at all, but KP and Tim still got really good farm. And yeah, this is a bit of a different look for Execration. I don't know if we 100% believe in Tiny, but it's at least a ganking, you know, aggressive kind of run at you hero. So
This is the
Good for
dream
that.
combo, though, right? That we want. We want the meme combos with the Nature's Prophet and the
that's
Tiny.
true. And so now you just have to let them have Ursa so that they can take those first 2 Roshans, and then you can come in and secure the 3rd Roshan for yourself to get the Aghanim's Blessing. That's the winning formula.
10
And then just start
seconds remaining.
hurling trees at their faces.
Yeah.
5 seconds
okay, so
I
remaining.
mean, this is not the worst pick here, right?
No, it's certainly not. I think it's definitely something to actually think about for even for both teams,
Radiant
really.
team back.
Maybe not as good for TNC, or not as many reasons to grab it, but just the Lina being banned. TNC really...
Actually, I wouldn't even mind the Ursa on TNC, right? Because you can hop out of the Sprout. You don't need to constantly keep the Quelling Blade, or I mean, eventually you're going to get the
10
Battle Fury, so
seconds remaining.
fine. But even if the Tiny goes on you, there's those small little gaps between the
5
stuns, so
seconds
you can actually
remaining.
get off the Enrage and not take the bulk of the damage coming through from that Tiny combo. So I don't mind it on either side.
Seems fine.
Radiant
Again,
team
I want to
pick.
just talk about it. I guess the reason that they banned this Lina is just to keep the Quap mid lane option open a little bit more.
Yep.
I mean, it is good against the Phoenix, I suppose, as well, as egg killers go, but
I don't want to see a Snapfire now. I feel like they need to, because
TNC
TNC probably aren't
Predators
going to pick it. I want to see it next. Like, that would have been fine as the next pick. But now, for example, if TNC grab an Ursa, then suddenly you've lost your opportunity to pick it when you had the pick priority after that banning phase.
And I mean, TNC could even go for the, like, they can still go for a Nyx Assassin or something if
10
they
seconds
really
remaining.
want to against Snapfire. That would be kind of guaranteeing the
5
Queen of Pain as a
seconds
core,
remaining.
but like we've said, they've already laid some of the groundwork for the Quap to be fine as a core here. And yeah, I don't know if there's any other carries that I'm really looking at as like this looks amazing this game, so seems totally reasonable to go for the if they so desire. Could have
Radiant
something
team
else
pick.
in mind.
Earth
Just gonna go for the Shaker. Okay, so that does still kind of confirm the Quap over to a core role at this point. Likely just Shaker 4, Phoenix 5. Lots of team fight for them.
Lots of team fight. No Morphling, though, so you're risking that.
10
Ursa's still
seconds
kind of alright
remaining.
here.
Yeah, it
5 seconds
seems okay.
remaining.
I don't think you really... So we've seen the Spectre be annoying for the Shaker, but really want to pick Spectre into this TNC lineup, especially not against the Phoenix. It's kind of painful to play against Phoenix's spec.
I feel like it needs to be something that's capable of just staying in the lane and farming self-sufficiently, that they need to get as their carry for Execration, because Snapfire are probably going to be roaming a lot throughout the game, assuming that it is a tiny 4. I think he's a lot stronger as a 4 as that mid.
Yeah, I don't feel like he does enough when he's mid, right? There's not a...
TNC
There's not
Predators turn.
between like 4 and 2. So Lifestealer is the grab for Execration. I mean, sure, it's good at hitting A, good against all of these stuns, but I feel like the hero in general right now is just kind of bad. So
10
Like,
seconds
what
remaining.
is the catch is my thing, right? Like,
yeah.
5 seconds
most of these heroes are
remaining.
going to be able to get away. Shake, or probably not, but you're going to have pretty good damn turnaround with the Phoenix and the Queen of Pain if you focus that.
Yeah, I really feel like they're gonna need a good like Orchid timing on the Nature's Prophet, if at all possible. Maybe he needs to go mid just to secure that. It's gonna give them that little bit of extra catch. Then they could still grab some more from the off lane. I don't know what form that would take on exactly. And for TNC, what are we thinking lifesteal counter wise? Are we looking at Razor?
Razor's
There's a lot of nukes to try and play under. Be a little bit hard.
Versus
I'm totally down with the with the Ursa. I think the Lone Druid could even be alright.
Radiant
The Lone
team
Druid
back.
versus Life Ship seems to have
Phantom
kind of
Assassin.
turned around a little bit compared to, but TNC just gonna go for a PA. Also a Battle Fury buyer in the right situation. Punish the Lifestealer a little bit for armor.
10 seconds
And for now,
remaining.
I mean, looking good. Also against the Nature's Prophet, just being able to get in and
5
go
seconds
toe-to-toe
remaining.
against him.
So we're thinking. Obviously, it feels like
TNC Predators
well,
turn to
Queen of
ban.
Pain not necessarily as a core just yet.
No, I mean, I guess it could be what, Core Phoenix, and then
Yep. Or Shaker.
Yeah, I guess it would kind of have to be Core Shaker, right? Because I don't think you want Quap Shaker as
TNC
support. That
Predators
sounds a
turn to pick.
little feels bad.
Radiant team
And
pick.
if the ban, TNC just gonna go for a Slardar. Alright, so they got Slardar PA this game. Pretty nasty.
So that's basically confirms the order of.
Yes, yeah, I think it's just Phoenix 5, Shaker 4, Slardar 3, Quap 2.
Yep.
And
10
Correct.
seconds remaining.
Execration, what is the
5
winning
seconds
off
remaining.
lane slash mid pick here? Do you just try and do you just Abadoon? Is that the
And just all in on their face.
I mean, I guess you run at them, you dispel the corrosive haze. You don't die to PA, hopefully, unless you get, unless it's later on and you just happen to get daggered and don't press R.
Left field. Arc Warden.
Well, you don't think the Abaddon is out of
Okay,
out
it
of
is a
left
little
field?
bit. Yeah.
No, there's no way you can pick Arc Warden here.
Just gonna
There
dive.
are 3 different, there are like 4 different heroes that are just gonna get right on top of you.
Yeah.
No help will be forthcoming. Look, man, I'm telling you, you gotta pick the Abaddon, and you just gotta go. This is the future.
This is the new meta.
This is the technology. I'm giving it away for free here on this broadcast.
Pugna.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Flame Pugna.
It's kind of fast. I don't think you're going to be keeping anybody alive with the life drain this game, but
Yeah, it's going to be
Fast.
a little worrisome against Armel, though, right? Like, sure, you're initiation, but then Armel just blows in and demolishes you with the extra damage that you're going to be putting out.
Yeah. I think if this game goes longer than like 25 minutes, the Execration might be in some trouble. Because I do think it hits a little bit of a wall.
Yeah.
Eventually. Where the TNC team fight just gets really scary.
You got what you wanted, though, with the Prophet going mid. So we'll see if that works out for him. And I really do like Yaha playing aggressively like he has been. And I mean, in the, I forget who it was that picked it up with the memory draft. I think it was Neon, right? With the one game that they lost yesterday. It was, and it felt like, he was being that initiator into team fights, and he was shoving out waves with the Avatos combo. But eventually, you could do that as a 4 anyway. You can create a ton of space doing that, and you don't really care once you get your combo off if you die. So it's much more viable as that 4.
But is it a good hero? I'm with you. 4 is better than 2, but is Tiny better than no Tiny? This is the true question that we need to ask
Prepare
ourselves.
for battle.
Is it better to play with 5 heroes, including a Tiny, versus
Including
4?
Tiny.
Tiny.
Let's shake things up.
You could have Tiny, 5 melee creeps. Which one would you choose?
Do the melee creeps respawn?
Yes. Every 30 seconds.
It's like this Tiny when he's gonna. I I don't know. I feel like Yaha can make it work. I was impressed with the quad play last time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll just have to see how this. I guess have to see how the Pugna does. I think that's going to be very pivotal. And yeah, the Nature's Prophet getting. I can definitely see a situation where Prophet gets like fast Orchid this game, and he is able to wreak absolute havoc. Like there's really nobody on TNC that is going to be very happy with getting scouted and then getting TP Orchided.
They missed out on the tree and kill by about 1 second as well. A little bit tilting for Armel and March, but
it's fine.
Just throws out the Uha.
KP has skilled up the Slithering Crush, so he really wants this. And Crush, and Grab, and Bounty Rune just fine. 2 Bounty Runes getting grabbed top, though, for Execration. You know, they're not too unhappy.
She'll be right.
She'll be right.
Again, the Yikes comes out.
What's Tim's up to? They're just trying to block hard. Get a double Fissure. To block their own wave instead of going for the block and bounce. So Execration realizing what's going on, also just blocking as hard as humanly possible to try and get the wave in a somewhat sane position, but it's very difficult to deal with 2 Fissure blocks on the creep wave, so still going to end up kind of exactly where TNC wants it.
Yeah. That thick Mortimer booty can only do so much.
Tim's just running at RR here. Should have secured this next range creep. KP just gonna go for it with the auto attack. It's out in mid. ML getting cleaked a little bit by Ben-Hur. Has skilled the Scream very early, actually. Scream at level 1. So it seems to be his preferred method of laning against the Nature's Prophet. I can kind of see it. Know if Dagger really matters against Prophet, because he's always just gonna go base, hit him low. So it's like maybe just play for your own farm.
This top lane going a lot better this time around for BHM. I know it's early days, but getting some
They're
good
still gonna
harass.
toss for Gabby, so he's have to go in aggressively. Yaha is in the middle of the creeps. March, helping it out, looking like Tiny might be dead here. There is a toss. BH can't do too much more. He does have the Decrepify Blast coming up, but not going down. He's just diving through. The Fairy Fire's getting popped. Gabby able to sidestep. Decrepify about to run out. Like Pugna's gonna survive, but it's a half-life. Yeah, it's a real cursed life for him currently.
No go for you.
Well, at least the wave is pushing into him, so he's gonna get some experience that way.
We just overextending at the certain stage. Like if they wait until Yaha's level 2, then I think that's basically a guaranteed kill, right? The Avatos combo in combination with the Decrepify Nether Blast. Not too much that either March or Gab against that.
And it's not like they got cut out by denies or anything. I think there's a grand total of 1 deny for TNC, though. Avatos combo. March not respecting the Tiny enough, and he will get a turnaround kill for himself.
He's getting the courier too.
This is a lot of chain stun and damage onto Palos down here. I do have a salve on RR, so okay.
But certainly a much more active and strong lane that you've got here with BHM and Yaha. He's able to do. Got the few charges of the magic wand, of course, really effective against Gabby and the Mango as well. So potentially some gotcha potential with the turnaround. Not expecting that he might have the mana to combo.
Gotta respect the Decrepify Avatos. It's a lot of damage for sure, and it is showing up on Gabby's farm as well on 11 CS. Toss back onto March. Gonna use the dive to get out of there, but that's now on cooldown for 35 seconds and. They are a little bit reliant on that for any kind of aggressive potential as well. Tim's with his boots. I hate playing position 5 against the Shaker with a boot start because stats are kind of dumb as well. So you just can't fight him. He runs at you and he punches you and you have to run back to tower. It's no fun.
I'm liking the fact that they forced out that dive from the Phoenix, obviously not wanting to go down so soon after TPing back.
Palos, gotta be careful. They're looking for a bit of a turnaround of the KP. Tim's is coming in. He's got the Fisher at the ready and doesn't even need to use it. KP's gonna be just fine. How's mid lane going up? Ben-Hur is again kind of getting owned CS-wise by Armel. It kind of happened in the previous game and seems to be happening again. 23-11 against the 16-5. That's a pretty big. Maybe some of these are Treants.
Yeah,
but
I think they are. The net worth isn't that different.
Yeah, okay, only 100 gaps, so not terrible. But the denies are pretty hefty. That's pretty nasty. It is going to be a really fast 6 for the Quap in comparison to the Nature's Prophet. What's going on with these bounty runes? They're bringing Gabby over as well. They really want to jumping straight onto Yeehaw, but gotta be careful again of this combo potential. They do have the magic wand charges. Gabby's still holding it. They're looking for the turnaround now. Here comes another blast. A tick will do it. DHM really wants this kill. Can he find it? Blink away. Still living. Another blast soon, but I don't know if that blast is going to do enough. And now they come back. Pugna with the auto attacks, just trying to finish off March that way. Goes for the outpost for a second. Gabby going to keep on fighting. And I think he's got this one. Stick charges, not going to save him. And TNC, definitely the victors there. At mid lane, the TP comes in, and Ben-Hur able to stand his ground.
Deny?
There was no Sonic Wave, and yeah, even a deny on the Nature's Prophet. Did they not have the... He didn't have the mana. Yeah, only 98 mana remaining for that, so...
What was this bot? About this, you want to make sure you can get at least a couple of those extra hits for a bit of extra farm for yourself.
He's straight on top of KP, but he gets the stun off and he's pretty speedy just heading into trees. They are going to go for Tim's instead, and he will end up paying the price, as we also have Pugna dying at top. While the Tiny is away, Gabby and March, and Gabby does have the Battle Fury queued up currently, so no Deso rush or anything in sight.
Just having to waddle his way back to mid, make sure he doesn't lose out on too many creeps. It should just be the one. Seeing armor.
Takes a bit of damage on the tier 1, but not a ridiculous amount. Apollo's still just working towards his phase boots. KP's already got the full treads. And Yaha level 5 rotations around, maybe looking for something at mid lane. They do have Wrath of Nature in 30 seconds, but seems like he wants to head back top and keep the pressure going there. I don't think that wasn't a very successful rotation bottom, right? Like, they killed the Shaker. They also brought in the Nature's Prophet for that. Palos is getting chain stunned here. Rage just gonna try and go for the creep. They bash that, and it's losing life quickly, so he's not really healing all that much. Can they keep it alive? Are gonna put his body on the line just to make sure that the Lifestealer is able to heal all the way back up to full. And Outpost does get quickly capped as lanes pushed forward. Yaha, Ret, they're gonna go for Gabby. Wrath of Nature bouncing it. That's big damage with the Decrepify. I do not think that Gabby was expecting that. Could have maybe dodged it by popping the blur, but either way.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that hurts, yeah.
But that's exactly the thing that they need to be doing, right? They need to be going really aggressive. They're not at a net worth deficit right now. It's basically dead even. Armel, having bottled that haste, has the potential to rotate through at any time.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, the global presence of the Prophet is really nice, and they're already putting the Treants and the blast to work to take out this tower. Paulo's getting gone on the bottom. Gabby making the rotation after his death. Tim's blocking him off with the Fisher. RR trying to save him, but this is a lot of damage. Just waiting to give it to Gabby if they can. Blink forward. They've also caught out the Snapfire. Rest in peace, RR.
A bit rash.
I think with what you were saying before about the previous rotation by the Tiny down to the bottom side of the map not being quite as effective, I could tell what they were trying to go for. Oh, Ben-Hur might have a bit of trouble here. Should be able to get away. But the Snapfire had just died, so suddenly the 3v2 situation became 2v2, and they didn't want to just completely turn around their commitment to that bot rotation, especially once the haste had just been picked up.
Yeah, and it wasn't too bad of an investment from Ben-Hur, right? He just TP'd straight in, so But would have been very nice to get the Slardar instead of rotating 4 heroes bottom and only getting the Tims killed. But I like that they're being active. I like that they're being aggressive. They're the ones trying to dictate the pace of the game a little bit more. Ben-Hur wasn't really able to do that at much last game on the Ember. March is just taking over the farm at top to grab his levels, and TNC closing in on this bottom tier 1 tower. So trying to hold on to it for a little bit more.
He's just doing everything he can to delay it by that little bit, but he is just going to get pincered. He's trying to play very safely to allow his team potentially to TP in and save him. They're kind of in two minds here on TNC. Do they want to protect the outpost? Do they want to go for the boundary runes? Or do they want to go for a kill on a position 5? So reasonable positioning coming through from him.
They do manage to grab an outpost for Execration. So getting some experience. Yaha rotating down here. They do also have the Wrath of Nature bouncing around. But is it actually going to hit onto anything? It doesn't seem like it. Just kind of ends up being a farming Wrath. Also bring the Pugna down here now. So Execration very intent on keeping this tower advantage going. You know, they've created a little pocket of farm for Palos up here. So if they can just keep this going, it's really not the worst situation to be in, having cores farming across all 3 lanes.
Melts away.
Trying to have happen in this mid lane. Nothing too much. Tim's tried to make the rotate through, but the Fisher blocked him off on the wrong side, so wasn't really in a position to follow up with the Queen of Pain's spells. And now I feel like that Wrath of Nature previously was just trying to take advantage of that Arcane Rune, right? They knew that they could push the waves out a little bit. They can get their level 10 potentially a little bit sooner, and you know, a spike of an extra either 25 damage or the Wrath of Nature base damage is going to be pretty impactful for Ben-Hur here, and also gives Tiny that little bit of extra time to get closer to the Blink Dagger, not opting to go for these smaller value items like the Windlace, just going all out for it.
And like we said, the Orchid is the most important timing, right, for Execration. It's really what I think enables a lot of their lineup and the way that they want to play. And you can look elsewhere and you can see that the Lifestealer is just going for an armlet. So Palos is also thinking along this fast kind of line. I think Execration really knowing that, hey, look, if this game goes too late and March gets a bunch of levels and Tims gets his blink, the game's going to get pretty hard for us. So we really have to try and hammer some kind of deso timing on this Lifestealer and just hope that we can end the game off of the strength of our push and our early game.
Yeah, Paulus is having a pretty decent time up here. You know, he's had 2 entire waves, which he's just been able to right-click down very easily. There's no risk of them TPing into a tier 1 tower because of the early aggression that came out from that Tiny Pugna combination. And speaking of the Pugna and the Tiny, you've got a Tiny position 4 who's about a level and a half ahead. And taking a fair amount of greedy farm himself, although it might be in a bit of a precarious position.
Oh no, Armel just walking straight up that hill. It wasn't blind. They did have a little bit of vision, but that is not the rotation you want from your Queen of Pain. I think Armel was just hoping to find somewhere to use a Sonic Wave, and finds a lot of rocks to the face instead.
Yeah, they used the Wrath of Nature to try and secure it, but it wasn't even needed. All the damage coming through fire on the Tiny was enough.
Pop, you know, not really accomplishing too much just yet, but also I really think that the storyline that we're looking at here is TNC not being under so much pressure to make plays. It's really kind of just don't give too much away, find the occasional gank here and there if you can, but in general just relying on the strength of that late game and relying on the strength of their team fight. Armel can kind of take a little bit more of a backseat, though. Of course, dying like that, not going to be very happy.
Chem again playing very defensively underneath his tower, being careful not to be caught in the range of that corrosive haze. Just to have that little bit of mystery involved. They don't have vision, they don't have things like a Beastmaster, and you need to commit a fair amount if you're going to try and kill someone underneath this tower.
And he does clear the waves really quickly with the maxed out Nether Blast now, and he's got the Fated Brooch to move around that a little bit faster. So. Yeah. He seems pretty happy with his lot in life. Here comes the Orchid on Ben-Hur. So really have to see for Execration, you know, this needs to be go time. We need to have support scouting, people just running around the map, whoever they find, get the Nature's Prophet to TP in on top of them, and go from there. RR almost able to break the blur here onto Gabby, who's just gonna try and for him. Slow down, little hop away. Lifestealer not interested in helping out, and he does. Sal gonna look for the TP out. A couple of crits would be the end of him. He actually gets the bonus healing, but unfortunately, Tim's there with the Fissure to interrupt.
I actually
just grabbing a kill.
Really like that play from RR. So I think it was essentially a guarantee that he was going to die, but you don't care at that point because that's not what you're waiting for. Pugner's very, very close, or he has his Voidstone picked up, so now he's got that Aether Lens. He's able to act as this field medic for his team. You had Tiny, who was about 200 gold away from picking up his Blink Dagger. Now he has it, and so all the attention was put onto the Dire side of the map, allowing them to get those early items. And now it's go time, although be a bit of a turnaround situation because both fours have their Blink Dagger.
Tower is under attack.
Tim's got the Blink as well. How's the Starter Blink Dagger going? KP's still a couple hundred gold away from that. He has opted for a lot of little items here. The Blast's already starting at mid. We have not seen this Orchid just yet, but I'm not sure if TNC have either thing. So do need to be a little careful on some of these heroes. Gabby, Gabby, even though he still wants to farm, he wants to come and farm nearby his team. Just to come and clean up this fight if an opportunity presents itself. And it does seem like TNC, with this Blink, deciding to kind of take this fight. Maybe they P is a little bit of bait, and then they can force the fight after that. Here we go, jump in, Echo Slam onto 2, immediately Sonic Wave, the whole combo coming up, but Yaha turns it around with the Avatar's combination. Armel dropping very low, he gets the Blink away, and the Bottle Sip's gonna keep him alive. Almost a 2 for 2, but does end up just being a 2 for 1.
Well, both at the same time, but again, it's an Avatos, right? It's back up online. You're ready to use it again. Just an Echo Slam, down for 2 minutes. Quap ulti, down for 100 seconds. Supernova, down for 80 seconds. They could just get right up again and go.
And I think they have to, right? They absolutely need to just go and take the bottom tier 1, or exert some more control over the Dire jungle, or I don't think they really had any Roshan potential, but I want this Orchid to be used. I want to see Ben-Hur making some kind of a play. All right, he's just he's going underneath the tower. Blink back from Armel, but they not have the correct information, so
that's fine. They tried the right play. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, definitely what needs to happen. So the Glyph comes out. TNC, I think, giving up on their top tower, just going to go and pressure elsewhere. Gabby with the Battle Fury wants to get his farm on. Bottom lane KP has the Blink. Really wants to get this tier 1 tower if at all possible. And this seems like TNC setting up to kind of take over this Radiant side of the map a little bit more, though they have invested most of their observer vision onto the Dire side, so they're not going to have a covering ward or anything for bottom, and that is going to make it a little bit more difficult to play down here, though they do have quite elusive heroes in the Quap and the PA. So, just play down here.
So it's unfortunate to have to lose your
popped. They both have to commit. The Prophet dies without really accomplishing. It was kind of messy. I feel like Execration coming in one by one a little bit. Well, TNC now with the net worth lead, the experience lead, the win probabilities being on their side this entire time. Execration, tier 1 tower still stands bottom. All they can do is pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and get back to it. There's no time to wait.
Supernova, no Sonic Wave for at least the next 20 seconds. You've got the Echo Slam though, so you need to be mindful of that, but they're going for the wraparound play right now. Where's the rest of your team though? I think Palos needs to be here.
I guess he can infest the Prophet if that's the plan, but March seems like... March is a free kill. Is he even? They start with the Decrepify, so he just gets the dive away, and now that they have any kind of interrupt, no. Armel is looking. Alright, they get the silence onto him. He's pretty tanky. The Blade Mail helping, and in comes KP. The damage is immense. They lose the Nature's immediately Yaha jumps in, does get the Avatos combination.
I mean, that's the big reason why the Quap died, and as soon as the Avatos was up again, PA died. Even at the end there, he realized that the Echo Slam was still in the arsenal of TNC, and made sure he was standing just to the right of the only opening that you have to run through to be in range to cast that Blink Dagger. So he was in range to potentially get the Avatos combo again, to maybe pick up the third. Tim's wisely choosing to TP out anyway, but again, just the overall positioning is great from this position 4.
Just so important that they didn't let the Quap do anything that fight. Mel's got this Aghanim Scepter, he's got the Sonic Wave, so if he gets that off, I think it's a very different look. But nice that they were able to find that immediate jump. Still worrisome that, you know, this game continues to kind of drag and TNC continue to get stronger, but
going in again.
Yeah, they want it. Here comes the combo. Say goodbye to Gabby. March gonna go for the dive away, but he doesn't actually make it down to the low ground. Won't quite be brought down. The double bracer and the Wandy is pretty tanky.
And the cloak.
Yeah.
Nice to have. Mango Tree on the top side. He's just gonna bust it with the toss. So no more vision now for TNC. This bottom side of the map.
I do like this Armel build in terms of, look, if they ever manage to actually start looking at your high ground, you just bomb every wave with Sonic Wave, right? There's kind of no cut. Getting popped. They really need this BKB on the PA so that this stops happening. The Decrepify Avatos is just one-shotting him every single time.
They're going for the smoke play here as well. Not quite level 12 on Tim's yet, so maybe be lacking a little here, especially if Armel gets picked off early on again.
They do have the obs. They take the safe high ground towards their outpost. They see two Echo Slam getting dropped. They have the chain stun on Lifestealer. He gets brought down immediately. R tries to turn with the little shredder, but realizing that it's a little bit futile, there is level 12 on March now. And with that, TNC take the fight and quickly go and take the objective. And they might even be able to get Roshan now. This is a very approach with the Deso plus the so why not?
I feel like Ben-Hur really needs to realize this. You know, he's farming. Yeah, that's exactly what he needs to do. Bottom side of the map, keep that pushed out so that, you know, you've got top lane pushing in with your trans. Granted, they're about to expire, but you need to get something in exchange for this.
Well,
Gabby, his days of getting one shot by the Decrepify Avatos are soon to be over. He's got the Aegis now, and then that should get him pretty much all the way to the BKB nicely. So
KP going in really aggressively, going for the blink stun blind onto Ben-Hur, maybe trying to pick him off, but he didn't really have too much in the form of help. I mean, Armel was nearby, but about a third.
Wait. I really want a Sonic Wave. And back to heal.
40-second cooldown, it's fine.
Yeah, he really can just use this to push waves at this point.
And now it's level 3.
Yep, good stuff. What's our neutral item situation? Does everybody have a neutral item? Can I tilt Danog out of this game?
Snapfire didn't for a while, and it tilted me a little bit.
All right.
The people's gift.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Don't worry, I'm like
You're on top
eyes
of it.
like a hawk, you know.
Do you just play with the scoreboard open and just show items and just look right down the center of your screen, see if all those spots are filled?
It just appears on my head.
Tim's, they've actually got a gem picked up now for TNC, so feeling like that's the answer to maintain the map. Oh, keep everything dewarded, flapping the courier around to check all these high grounds. And probably keep the courier nearby as well, just to hopefully grab the gem if he does happen to die.
It's a kind of awkward time for Execration, right? Because everything about this TNC lineup now is stronger than them. Just EKB, PA, you've got level 12 now on Tim. His Echo Slam just came up off cooldown. You've got the Aegis, you've got the Ags on the Quap, and you've got the Supernova available. But maybe they're going to be baited in all sense of security, saying, oh great, I've just picked up my EKB on her. We can make a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah. Do you think they need to just wait out the then? Is that
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Is that feasible? That's another just under 3 minutes to go.
Oh man,
So.
they just got the MKB as well. I feel like they might be baited into a team fight shortly. This is the type of thing that you need to do with your less vital heroes on your team. You know, you've got buyback on this Tiny, you've got, well, very close to buyback on the Pugna. You can afford to die if it means forcing the Dire team back.
Yeah, they do get some good damage on this tier 3. It's already half HP. March just down here doing a little bit of digging.
Dire are scanning.
Looking for treasure. Alright, so Armel with the BKB, Gabby with the BKB. Are they just going to try and pop this Aegis here? Yaha's thinking about it. Don't have everybody else quite in position to go. Execration again. Want to take another look at top. Oh, they're sending Ben-Hur to hold bottom. Fortunately for him, there's nobody running at him just yet, but instead, KP, Tims, and Armel are going to head into their own target. Can he maybe get a cookie down into the river? I don't even know if that's going to matter. Armel with the auto attacks, Gabby connecting. They jump forward, they don't quite get the crush. BHM surviving with the help of the Glimmer Cape for a second, but now he's being found out. Tim's just waiting with the Shadow Amulet in case a fight breaks out here. Just a double kill for Armel. Execration getting pushed back once again.
Wastes more time though. I mean, they're not pushing at the exact same time. Gabby eventually gets it moving into Radiance up and looking to connect together with his team. But Ben-Hur doing the right thing, pushing down the bot side. You've got Armel's Illusions trying to stop the bleeding towards the top side of the map. Carlos needs to be careful about getting picked off. He doesn't have enough for buyback.
I mean, they buy time, but doesn't this game just better for TNC the longer it goes on? Ben-Hur. Yeah, he's looking pretty dead, even with the BKB. Those crits, they hurt. And
That is not the 10-second BKB that you need.
Die.
That's sad.
So, oh, now PA has Basher. Well, good luck, Lifestealer.
They tried going for the combo onto the Quap as well. Conversely, didn't have to pop the BKB, and even forcing out the Mortimer's Kisses. So, just these little victory in C and making it fall further and further out of Execration grasp.
Unseen.
Top 2 on the net worth over on the TNC side. Gabby, certainly the strongest hero on the map currently. The Aegis is going to get reclaimed by Roshan.
You could tell KP was keen, but just the sound of that Aegis was enough for him to say, okay, maybe curb our enthusiasm a little bit.
They're trying to push top with the Pugnet and the Tiny. Maybe they can get the tier 3 or something while this is going on. Execration positioning themselves somewhat aggressively to try and catch as TNC maybe go for the TP back, but Palos needing to be careful. He has been corrosive hazed up. Tims is going to be the one coming. Fendi shadow blading forward. It's Yaha, the Pugna as well. Got the Glimmer Cape. Oh, they walk together. Here comes the chain stun. They're laying down the Supernova. I think Pugna's just gonna get burned down by that, and Tiny also kind of unable to escape. The Wrath of Nature does some good damage to Tims, but TNC cleaning up both of these kills, and they even try and engage at mid at the same time. But Palos just gonna get daggered and brought down 1,300 damage. Gabby wants to keep on going, but are a little bit out of his reach.
Surely you got to buy back there and at least attempt something, right? You knew that there were 3 heroes that TP'd back to make that play happen, and suddenly you could have turned it into a 4v2.
Yeah, I think they have to try at the very least. There's just there's no winning by playing defensively here for Execration. Even if it feels like the wrong play, I think you just have to kind of force anything that you can.
Surely you got to buy back there and at least attempt something, right? You knew that there were 3 heroes that TP'd back to make that play happen, and suddenly you could have turned it into a 4v2.
Nature's Prophet can get a halberd, yeah, but then Quap is going to have or someone's going to have another item somewhere. There's no winning by playing defensively here for Execration.
The only way of really clawing your way back into that game is stopping this PA with the Battle Fury through. Surely you got to buy back there and at least attempt something, right? You knew that there were 3 heroes that TP'd back to make that play happen. It was only a position 5 buyback, right? And potentially a kill on the pause 1 that's 6k ahead of you.
Going to have or someone's going to have another item
winning by playing defensively. The only way of really clawing your way back into that game is stopping your way
Even
back
if
into
it
that
feels
game
like
is
the wrong
stopping
play,
this
5-man
PA
stacking now,
with
what
the
kind of
double
vision
dragon
they have.
Surely you got to brace
Yeah,
it. You at least
one
next
side
time,
of
right?
the
You knew that they were going to use the TP's by making that play. Happens when you get 5 right? And potentially a kill on the pause 1 that's 6k ahead of you. They're going to try and find Tim's.
Someone's going to have
there's
another
no
item
winning
somewhere
by playing
defensively.
Yeah, the only way
You
you're
hit him a couple of times, but Tim's still just...
Radiant's top tower.
Okay, they catch a glimpse of him now as they put the observer ward down. Alright, this should be an easy kill. See you later, Tim's.
Don't know if that Wrath of Net was necessary. But
Yeah, well, you know, you got to make sure.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they do have an orb of
Radiant
destruction on this
structures are
Lifestealer.
fortified.
If they can just get the lockdown on
Dire structures are
the PA,
fortified.
maybe they can kill
Radiant's
him.
top tower is under attack.
It's not going to be easy. He also has an orb of destruction waiting for himself back in the
Dire's bottom
back in the
tower
stash.
is under attack.
So I think that's coming
Radiant's
in
middle
just a
tower
second.
is
Yep,
under
orb of
attack.
destruction on its way.
Dire's
Fight
bottom
at
tower
bottom,
is
getting
fortified.
forced. Paulo's caught out. Can they keep him alive? Medic Pugna is trying to as well, doing its best, but the best is not good. Nature's Prophet trying to escape. Looks like the Supernova is going to be saved as well. There's just too much damage coming from TNC.
I think KP went for the deny on the egg as well at the end.
Yahat trying to get out of here. All of his mobilities on cooldown. Armel gonna get the dagger. Ring around the Rosie. Tim's coming over with the lockdown. And it's gonna be a slow and painful death, but a death all the same. For the Tiny.
This guy.
Toss.
Creating a lot of space.
His TP is still on cooldown for 30 seconds though, so.
He just wants some regrowth, no?
Okay, so Lifestealer dead for 20. Now a 17k lead for TNC. Gabby finds out. He was not there for very long. We caught that whole kill on camera. You don't need a whole lot of video for that.
Who had just picked up the nail, to be said.
Oh, sure, yeah. Against the -3 armor corruption, Death Blader, and Orb of Destruction. So 5, 11,
14.
14.
Email is nullified.
Yeah, see you later, Playmail. And TNC with that, head into the pit, cleaning this up very quickly. Out
Ben her.
Roshan has
trying to
fallen
fight.
to the dungeon.
Yeah, standing his ground. A little bit of a sprout. Lifestealer coming forward. Crush comes out. Armel blinking forward. Doesn't have a whole mana, but still going to be able to kill off Ben-Hur. Now turning his attention over towards RR. Quick illusion rune pop. Here comes the help from the rest of the team. Follow-up stuns from Tim's and the rest of the gang. Here to bail him. So you're just going from fight 32 to 16 now, and looking like no hope left for Execration.
Has to be said, sometimes it's just not your day. Didn't get a single bash through onto that Queen of Pain either when he turned around and fought on the Palos Lifestealer, and this doesn't seem like Gaben has
Glimmer Cape helping for a second. Toss back. Tiny saying get the
hit
heck
the Netherwood.
Yeah. Run, Tiny, run. Go. Even though he's Crows of Haze, he's just running in the direction from where the objectives are.
Yeah, he does.
They're still running at him. Tim's and Armel, despite having pretty much no mana. Armel's digging out the cheese from his backpack just so that they can get this kill. Steal his creep from him as well. Won't even let the man have a moment to breathe. We've seen the story before. Can he toss the Quap away maybe? No. Toss. Avalanche. Well, almost dodged a Sonic Wave.
Radiant's top barracks are under
Alright, buying back now. Maybe try and find a fight with this team. Lifestealer just losing half of his HP to one dagger. Another dagger is ready to go. Palos, if he gets bashed, he could just end up dying to the Abyssal Blade, but...
top barracks are under attack.
Now that you're amped, you also don't want to be anywhere near this PA. The combo that was once a huge problem for Gabby, now no longer so much of an issue. There's that bash that we were looking for. Gabby jumps forward, capitalizing with the Abyssal Blade. Ben-Hur getting cookied inside of his fountain. Is that the place to be? Arch is here. They're trying with the little shredder. He does finally get brought down. The dive continues. Gabby maybe a little bit too far here. BHM draining. The disarm helping out a lot. Paulo's armlet toggling to live. Gabby, life number 1. Tim's the blink echo slam, or is he just going to give him the blink out? What is the choice going to be here? He gives him the blink target. Gabby, can he keep on fighting? He's lost half of his HP already. Another blink coming up. Tim's going to keep on running. Puts his life on the line. Perhaps he's got the blink echo slam ready. Jumps back in. Gabby can't get an auto attack off. And TNC getting punished for the... will lose everybody. Well, a couple of tips coming out. You know, take a second.
It's never over, Kev.
Dire's courier has been killed.
1% chance.
How much is the net worth actually going to move off of that? This is the prime example of how little, well, just with no, do you actually a 5-man.
To be fair, how many buybacks did they?
Yeah, just
buybacks.
maybe.
No, 4. Oh no, but Palace was a bit sooner.
Yeah. But that is true. They did use a bunch of buybacks. They're marching down the mid lane here. Try and maybe force out a buyback of their own. Do have the quickening charm on the Pugna. This is it's pretty good building damage.
Lifestealer picked up 4 levels from that team fight, by the way.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Glyph coming through.
Radiant
March trying to hold.
Are fortified.
Here comes RR.
Yeah, he needs to get up there.
Dire's middle
the PA doesn't have a buyback. Dead for 30 seconds guaranteed, so this is going to be a lane of racks for Execration. That never say die attitude is working out for them. They brought the net worth lead back a little bit. Impressed, but...
Yeah. And now by the time that Yaha's here, they've all backed. It's like, oh okay.
Yeah.
See you later,
guys, is there a push? Hello? Anyone?
Is he going for this outpost? Yeah, just for a little bit of map control. They've got the 37-minute neutral items, so potentially some game-winning things coming through. A Prince's Knife, not too bad, coming through for the Nature's Prophet.
Very true, very true. Do we have nothing just yet? Well, actually, we've got the spell prism for TNC. All right.
Level 25
nice.
as well.
Yep, very nice. 32 second Sonic Wave.
Very nice.
Ben-Hur. He escapes, very nice. Almost got caught out there.
Hold up. Let me have a look at this.
What are we examining?
Also going into an Octarine on the Queen of... About 1,200 gold away, so...
Very nice.
Bring it down to like, what, 25 second Sonic Wave?
See if we can grab a few more items off
Radiant's
of these.
bottom tower is under attack.
Anything with the
Radiant's
shocker?
bottom tower has
Not bad for Slaughter. Probably doesn't
yeah.
give him enough mana to do anything though. The KP, he's got enough for his Ags, but Korea's dead for the next minute, so he's not going to have it for this fight.
TNC just straight smoking, trying to catch somebody outside of the base, or even just in their own base. The Radiant scan does reveal this. Is that going to matter? They're trying to use the Tiny as the vehicle to get the Lifestealer back inside. Nice force staff buys him a little bit more space. His life is gone, and now they also catch a stun onto Palos, laying down the Mortimer's Kisses. Ara trying to do his best, but Gabby just cleaving through everything.
Oh, no.
Sonic Wave to bring down 2 more. Do we have another Fountain Dive on our hands? Gabby's thinking about it, but he wants someone to tank. Are they going to put the Supernova in the way again, or have TNC learned their lesson and just going to try and close this one out? Backdoor protection is actually still enabled.
Tim's here on the top side, though. He's going to push it.
Silence on the clock. Does get hexed up as well by the Princess Knife. March can keep him alive with the heals. Big damage. Ben-Hur surviving for a second. Lifestealer now the focus of all the attention. Supernova coming out.
Follows.
He tried. There's that second Sonic Wave. Here's a pause as Pugna disconnects. And the GG does come out.
Oh, and the value tips as well. So, I was impressed with how they took out that early game, but it does show the difference in skill level potentially. Like with the early aggression was coming out from the likes of Neon, TNC, Fnatic. When you go this Nature's Prophet, especially in the mid lane, by that 20-minute mark, you're
walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town,